Hello, am I audible to everyone? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Uh, a very good evening to everyone present. Welcome to day one of Understanding Education System. Again, this constitute to one of the scoring part when we talked upon in last 2 days regarding people, environment, and development. Education system also here. Uh, we would be talking on various phases from ancient India, so institution for higher education, how things used to work in ancient India. When we are talking about, you may have heard regarding Nalanda University, right? So how things were during, how Vedas play a very important role in our education system. So we would be going across that, and evolution of higher education and research post independence. So we will see this ancient pre-independence, then post independence. And in today's class we will be also covering oriental, conventional and non-conventional learning programs in India, right? I'll try to cover the major part of it. Tomorrow, sorry, on Monday, we would be discussing regarding professional, technical, and skill-based education, and value education and environmental education, and last, policy, governance, and administration in education system. Okay. With respect to this particular subject of higher education, uh, please be sure that you are also well versed with the basic knowledge, right? 2025 mein whatever is the scenario, say for example, who is the chairman of UGC at that current stage, currently or at this particular date, how many central universities there, how many private university deemed to be university are there at national level. That basic general knowledge you have to be well versed towards it. Otherwise the question here are decent if you are understanding the basic crux of the various kinds of committees which were being formulated, which we will be seeing. And we would be also practicing few of the previous year paper, right, questions, how we can attempt those. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. Institutions of higher learning and education in ancient India. Now, when we talk about our education system, basically we can divide it into this format. When we are starting with the elementary education, it starts with basic. We have our pre-primary, primary, upper primary, right? And then we have secondary education. Secondary, right? When we are talking about 9, 10th, and then higher secondary are 11, 12. Then comes as our tertiary education system, when we have our higher educational system, which is our general, our arts, science, commerce, right? And then comes our professional courses, engineering, medicine, architecture, interior, law, CA, chartered accountant, all come under this bracket of professional service. And then we have one more bifurcation, that is vocational education and training, wherein you might have heard about ITI, polytechnic colleges, right, which are being offered at a, maybe the eligibility criteria would be 10th pass, like that. And now we have our 21st 8th century courses which is there, such as travel, tourism, aviation, hospitality. There is animation, VFX, game design, so which are trending courses. Currently there's lot many, there is a course on cyber security, AI, animation. So that is the new era, new emerging courses in our education system. So starting with the ancient education system. So here we would be focusing on Vedas, right? So the six Vedans, wherein we are focusing on the photoic, ritualistic knowledge, grammar, right? Matrix and astronomies, darshan shastra, which we say, right? We have our Puranas, which are talking about the historical impact. And then there is Tark Shastra. Now, this Tark in our very native, when we talk about Hindi language, is logic, right? So, in this particular, when we are talking about these words, can come and match the following, or we can talk about when we are talking about ancient India, which all words relate to it, right? That time, Sanskrit was the main medium of instruction in our very own Vedic system. Okay, moving ahead, here we can see in ancient Vedic education, when we talk about, there is Sarvana, the stage of acquiring knowledge in Shutris by listening it. Then we have Banana, whereas analyze themselves. We have Nitya Shasana, which is talking about how we can use these knowledge in our real life as such. Okay, and then we have our Upanishad, which is again a higher knowledge system, and our Parvata. So these are, I guess, Vedic knowledge and Indic knowledge system. They have introduced a new course as such also, which will you have a deep learning on these areas. Okay, uh, going ahead, we even have a different kind of Vedas, right? So primarily here we have four types of Veda: Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, and Atharva Ved. Right now, again, here basic things remember during your exam. That is Rig Ved. Here we are talking about mantra. Mantra here again, when we are talking about the various kinds of verses or poems that were being chanted to praise the god. Right now, here Rig Veda is again collection of 1017, that is 1017 hymns. Though thousands remain unexplored, here they mention Rayas, that is Brahmavandinis, to denote equality between the sexes in the field of knowledge, right? And in Rig Veda, the teacher were known as rishis. So Rig Veda, understand, it is a book of mantra, and there is total 1017 hymns in that particular Ved, right? Basic this conceptual knowledge would be enough for you, right? Then when we are talking about Samved, here again, which we are talking upon the various liturgical part, right? How that was being promoted, right? Various kinds of verses which were being there, and how we can make sure that a common participation was there between people work for God. Next, when you're talking about Yajurveda, now here it focuses more on rituals or the duty of chanting of the hymns, right? So here on various occasions, when we know about our pandit, our priest, right? And priest, so the various kind of how we are talking about, say for example, here they have given instance of Gayatri mantra, right? So that is being there in Yajur Ved, which is a book of ritual. Then we have is Atharva Ved, that is the book for spell. Right now here we are talking about the various arts and science that would be characterized. So basic, understand what it denotes, what it stands for, right? And you can at max understand how many hymns are there, right? And you can remember the sequence of which came first, as such, that I feel would be sufficient. Post to our Vedas, next part, which we will be exploring today, is the influence of Buddhist education in our very own Indian education system. Right now, here we all know that Lord Buddha was had halls of knowledge, and he was again epitome structure of the various knowledge. So during this time we have Nalanda and Takshila that was being developed, and currently also if we talk, it has international resemblance also, right? So that time various monarchies, various leaders came here to study, right? So when we are talking about the various ancient universities during this particular time, I have mentioned few of them, such as Takshila, there's Vikramshila, Nalanda, Udanpuri, Pushpagiri, right? Sonpura, Vallabhi. So in between these things, Takshila, Nalanda, right? At least remember the names of these universities so we can easy for you to attempt the questions. Okay. I hope you are getting it. Yes. Yes, no, maybe. Are you all understanding it, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I request keep a notebook handy, right? The basic words which are being highlighted, you can keep on writing. It will be really helpful for you. Then will be when you are talking about Takshila University, right? It is from Punjab, right? Currently, Rawalpindi of Pakistan. Uh, Again, we can remember here 600 BC to 500 AD, right? Again, centralized university it is there, and the city's Sanskrit name means city of cut stone, right? Takshila education here we can understand. Similarly, the university was also popular with Brahmanical and Buddhist education system, which described in some detail with the Buddhist Jataka tales, right? Again, this talks upon the various kinds of Buddha characteristics, again, which we can use as a problem solving tool, right? The minimum age entry was 16 years, right? Wherein it attracted students from Babylon, Greece, Syria, and China. So there was a question in last year paper, previous year papers, which focused on, they gave these characteristics, right? There was no exam system. The minimum age criteria was 16 years. So which amongst them, whether it was Takshila, whether it was Nalanda, right? So here we have to understand with terms of characteristics. So understand Takshashila, right? The first university of the world. It was situated in Rawalpindi district of Punjab, that time now Pakistan, right? And minimum entry age was 16 years, no examination, and it specialized training on the subject of Tantra, right? Tantrism. Uh, Again influenced by Greece culture. That is the few of the points which you should remember in this. The university taught around 68 subjects such as Vedas, languages, grammar, philosophy, medicine, surgeries, architect, archery, politics, warfare, and astronomy. Right, few of them you can remember, but in nutshell, just make 68 subject highlight that was in total, which was being taught in Takshila University. Next up, a few of the well-known scholars from here is Kautilya, right? Again, author of Arthashastra, uh, which we can identify from Vishnu Gupta and Chanakya also. We had Panini, which is again a grammarian for Sanskrit. We have Charak, which is known as the father of medicine in India, especially for Ayurveda. And we have Vishnu Sharma, again, author and compiler of Panchatantra. So these are, again, few of the main renowned scholars from Takshashila universities. Next up, we have is Chandragupta Maurya, right? Chanakya, again, the prime minister for the founder of Mauryan Empire, and Kumarlata, right? So few of the names such as Kautilya, and I feel Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya as few of the names, please remember whenever we are talking about ancient history. Next up we have is Nalanda University. Now Nalanda again is a center for international moral comparable, and that time again it was at world international level community. Here they say the greatest university of modern time, like Oxford, Cambridge, Paris, and Harvard, and it has been situated in Bihar right now, where which is the birthplace for the favorite discipline for Lord Buddha. Here you can remember learning center for Buddhists from 427 CE to 1197 CE. Now here, if you remember, this was 300 BC to 500 AD. In this Nalanda University, you will remember this particular timeline. Right, few of the scholar here, if we put in, is Huinstan, which came in 7th century, and Bakeshtir Khilji, who came at 12th century, right? In the year 2010, a new Nalanda University was set up in Bihar. So the old one was being demolished and the new setup was being done. So it was being done in 2010. And there was again one question being asked regarding who inaugurated that particular, this renovation of Nalanda University. So try to make that, and I'll also remember to introduce that tomorrow or next class, right? Similarly, in 2010, the government of India passed a resolution to revive the famous university and a contemporary institute, Nalanda University, and it has been listed as Institute of National Importance by Government of India. Okay, Sushma Swaraj is a person who has inaugurated Nalanda University, right? And for learning till it was burned down in 800 years. The Nalanda University Act of 2010 was passed in both the houses, and it came into right? And currently it has been declared, both Takshila in 1980 was declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site. You can please write it down. Nalanda was declared in 1980. Takshashila was being declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980, and similarly, Nalanda was being declared in 2010. It's an important year to mark in ancient education. Similarly, apart from now, again, major questions if we talk upon comes from Takshashila and Nalanda. But apart from that, we have other uh, places, other universities also of national significance, such as Vallabhi University, which was established during Saurashtra. Now, this is modern Gujarat of right now, right? It came in 12th century. So, for this, I would request you all, whenever you have similar kind of data, and um, say for example here when we are talking about ancient history, so what you do is make a tabular representation of it, and wherein there are common things, right? Where here in Vallabhi I have to remember a Swarashtra of Gujarat, right? In this Nalanda University I have to uh, remember Bihar, and similarly in Takshashila I have to remember Rawalpindi of Pakistan, right? First, which place it is, then in which century AD, whichever it was being made, any prominent names here as we are describing any particular criteria. So when you're looking after each and every one, you have a comparative analysis. Like yesterday's class when we discussed the various kinds of air pollutants, the various gases, what is the sources of it, where are we getting it from? So if you are having this common basis of writing it, you can have a comparative analysis, and then you can either divide this particular data ascending or descending wise to make sure it is easy for you to recall. So you can either remember Takshashila was always on my right hand side whenever I was studying, or it was on my left hand side. So this is something which is oldest. Or there might be question to mention all these universities on the basis of the establishment. So in these cases, it will be easy for you to approach various questions. I hope you are getting the point. Yes, no, maybe. Are we getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, here, when they are talking about, it has been a center for international morale comparative, right? Here, they have been focusing. When we are talking about Willoughby, it has been talking about the university was not just the center for religious education, but also such as Artha Shastra, which is now we call as economics, Niti Shastra, that is law, and Chikitsa Shastra, which is medicine. Similarly, when we look into Takshashila, also they have described the various. Now here we had 68 subjects, so again, which is easy for you to recall: Veda, grammar, language, easy, commerce, accounts, astronomy. So mark few of them. So again, even if we are not knowing the exact answer, even if we can land up to the nearest and the most right answer near to it, would be helping us, right? Because in this particular exam you don't have negative marking. So again, something near knowledge would also help you to land up at a right answer. Okay, so here we will remember four things: Arthashastra, Niti Shastra, Chikitsa. University campaign, the use of Hinaya Buddhism, Brahmical science were also taught here. In 755 C, some portion was being destroyed because of Arab invasion. And in September 2017, Government of India has planned to revive this university, right? So currently, in 2017, which is recently, it has been gone for renovation. Similarly, when we are talking about Nalanda, 2010 May, again, it was being, resolution was being passed, and it was being inaugurated as learning center, right, by Sushma Swaraj. So you will remember these facts and figures. Similarly, the next is Vikram Shila, which is from 800 to 1023 AD. Now again, which we call as Buddhist monastery, was in Dharmapala of Pala dynasty in Bhagalpur, Nadan, banks of river Ganga. Now, university was formed for religious teaching, right? The courses taught was Hindu institutions covered in 14 Vedas and 18 Shilpas and 64 art forms. The admission was allowed only to those who wanted to become monks. So there we remember in Takshashila, it was only the minimum age entry was 16 years, no examination was there, and Tantra Shastra was being taught. In Vikramshila, we will remember that entry was only given to people who wanted to become monks. So whenever you're making notes, write Vikramshila and write in bracket monk. So it will be easy for you to recall. Uh, the various hierarchy in this was Abhut, six protectors, then great scholars, right? And the university was famous for its Tibetan connection, right? So one more thing which you will add while remembering Vikramshila is its famous connection with Tibetan culture. And again, later it was being organized with six more colleges. Here also, similarly, we have Tantra Shastra, which was being taught, and later on, this university was being destroyed by Bhaktiyar Khilji, right? So this is something which we will remember in Vikramshila. Similarly, in this Vallabhi, we have seen it was being destroyed by Arab invasion, and in Vikramshila, we will remember it was being destroyed by Bhaktiyar Khilji in 12 103 CE. Okay, the first question on your screen comes in. In which era given below, higher education in India got a setback? In which era given below, higher education in India got a setback? British, Buddhist, Mughal, post-independence era. Just give it a thought.
Buddhist era.
Okay,
Buddhist era.
Buddhist era. Any other answer?
Mughal
Quick.
era, madam.
Mughal era.
Mughal era.
Just use your common sense here.
British era.
British era,
Post independence era.
post independence. Ma'am, got a setback. What does setback here
Then
mean?
C.
Anyone?
First.
Mughal era.
See, just now in past two slides, we have seen one, it was being destroyed by Khilji. Now, Khilji again is come from Mughal Sultanate only. Similarly, here when we are talking about Arabs, so your answer here would be Mughal era. See, British era, mein, it was being promoted. We have all this missionary schools coming up. Convent school came up during that. The medium then shifted to English, right? Post independence era, the condition was same. More influence was being given to education and in English. Setback here talks about when it was not promoted. Buddhist era, again, all this initially when we are talking about, be it Takshashila, be it Nalanda, we are seeing lot many Buddhist parts. See, Buddhist was a center of learning. Here also when we are talking upon uh, majority is it is being talking about Buddhism was being promoted, Arthashastra was being promoted. So setback here talks upon it was not being promoted. So our answer here would be Mughal era. Post independence era, again the government came into picture and lot many reforms were being made to make sure everyone has right to education. I hope it is clear. Shall we move ahead? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A few of the more which I would like to outline here is Odandapuri, right? Again, it was kings of Pala dynasty which came into power. Nearly 1,000 monks and 12,000 students resided and received education there. And this university attracted students from Tibet also. So Odandapuri, you can remember, around 1,000 to 1,200 students and monks were receiving their education, and Tibet is something area which we will remember. Similarly, we have Jagadala, Pal King Raja Rampal of Bengal monastery came into picture. The books were written in Tibetan language. So here we can see one common line when we are talking about ancient education is first Buddhism was given lot many priority, our Vedas were given priority, and Tibetan language was being promoted. And initially it was being taught in Sanskrit. Mithila, again, Raja Janak, up to Buddhist period, continued this particular Brahmanical education, and later on this place produced devotees of Lord Krishna. Famous poet came into picture. You will remember these names. Vidyapati was written Hindi, right? Sanskrit literature was came here. Nyaya Shastra and Tarka Shastra, logical reasoning came into picture. New logic, Navya, right? Major important work name was Tattva Chitmani, which had been written, right? Even up to Emperor Akbar, it continued to flourish, and an important center for. So Mithila, again, I feel after Takshashila, Nalanda, Vikramshala, and Mithila again played a major role. A few of the other names, if I mention, is Nadia, right? Namely Navadeep, Shantipura, and Gopalpura. Lyrics of Gita Govind existed here, right? Ujjain again was a famous secular learning part for mathematics and astronomy, right? Salotogi, again a center for learning in Karnataka, renowned again, and Anyaram in Srinagar and Kanchi, right? Again gave around 340 students learning for in our southern India, right? Similarly, here I would like you more to focus on Mithila, then Vikramshila, Nalanda, and Takshashila. Majority of the question when we are talking about ancient history comes from ancient education system comes from this part of it. Okay. Now moving ahead, here is another question which is on your screen. Which of the following university is being referred through the following statement? Please reread the question again. Which of the following university is being referred through the following statement? It was perhaps the oldest university in the world. There was no exam system. It has some impact on Greece culture. The student will enter the university at the age of 16. Identify the
Takshashila.
Okay,
Answer D. Takshashila.
Takshashila. Okay. Now you understand how the questions would be asked. They might give you either characteristics or the name of the university through which you have to identify which characteristics nearby we can fall, right? Takshashila is the right answer. Next part, we will see the various types of teachers, right? Now, there might be direct or indirect questions may come from this. So please be clear regarding the conceptual part. First is Acharya, a teacher who teach Vedas without charging fee from the student. That person is known as Acharya. Okay? Then we have Upadhyay, to earn the livelihood and taught only a portion of Veda or Vedangas. We have Upadhyay. Then we have Charakas, wandering scholars to visit the nation for higher knowledge, usually regarded as possible source of knowledge, right? So that is known as Chakras. And then we have Guru, which is used as Grihashata, life of imparting education. And next up we have is Yovansika, which is famous for profound scholarship, right? And then we have is Shikshaka, instruction in arts such as dancing, that is being said, right? Especially Acharya, Upadhyay. Remember these few terminology. What does it refer to? Okay. Moving on to the next part, we have evolution of education in pre-independence era. Pre-independence, again, here when we are talking upon, it is focusing on three parts: the British government, East India Company, the crystal missionaries which came into picture, and a various Indian intellectual and reformers, right? So here, before the British, India has its own education system like Gurukuls and Madrasas, but again, with the British rule coming up, we had different committees which propose different type of education system. So let's see that. Okay, the first one here comes into Warren Hastings, right? So company wanted some educated Indian which assist them in administration of the land during the British era, right? So Warren Hastings established the Calcutta Madrasa in 1781 for teaching Muslim law. Warren Hastings, this is a very prominent name, which is again asked in UGC NET. So please be clear. He was the person who established Calcutta Madrasa in 1781 to teach Muslim law. In 1791, a Sanskrit college was started in Varanasi by Jonathan Deccan for the study of Hindu philosophy. Then came his Charter Act of 1813, which was being set up for education being the main objective for government in the viewpoint of the nature of government. Now here, the main reason why the Britishers wanted Indians to study was to administer the basic land part when we are talking about the taxation that time. To administer in that particular thing, they wanted the Indians to have assist them in basic understanding. Similarly, in 1985, Lord William Bentinck was decided to introduce English as a medium of instruction. So English as a medium of instruction was being given by Lord William Bentinck in the year 1835. Macaulay Minutes refers to the proposal of education for the Indians, and this focused on, instead of traditional Indian learning, a lot of Oriental culture. Now, Oriental culture here talks about the Western culture, right? Here they said that again, educating a few upper and middle class students, and their ultimate understanding here was to Indians who were in color and blood, but English in taste and affiliation, right? So here, Macaulay Minutes came into picture, which focused on making sure that Indians learn education. In 1835, the Alfiston College of Bombay and Calcutta Medical College were the university setups in Calcutta, Madras, and Mumbai was established in 1857. Now, this particular 1857 Alfiston College, Calcutta Medical College, this is again one of the questions which is frequently being asked. Similarly, Sir Charles Wood's making dispatch of 1854 led because of the creation of separate Department of Administration for Education and founding of the University of Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras. So this was some of the, during the British time, the first universities which were being set up was this two colleges basically in 1857. So remember the year over here. The next prominent personality here is Mr. Charles Wood, Wood's dispatch of 1857, right? Now, when you're talking about the Wood dispatch, so he was the president of Board of Control of the company in 1854, and he was sent the dispatch for Governor General in India. And it was considered as Magna Carta of English education in India. So the first policy measure regarding higher education came with Wood's dispatch 1854. Few of the recommendation. Now from here we would be talking about the various commissions, right? We would be talking about the Woods Commission. We would be talking upon Jonathan or Chartered, or we just talked upon Menike University. So make sure that whenever post independence era also we have lot many commissions such as Narayan Murthy recommendations. So here we have to remember who gave that, which year, and the various basic and affluent recommendation which the committee gave. Now here when we are talking upon Wood's dispatch, it focused on regularizing the education system from primary to university levels, and every district should have at least one government school. Indians were being educated in English and their native language, and education system was to be set up in every province. Affiliated private schools could be granted aid, and education of women was also emphasized during Wood's dispatch. Now, the next slide would let us know again regarding the more downward filtration theory which was being given, right? Primary education maybe would be focusing on vernacular language. Education system was being formed. Now here it can ask that which particular person was being recommending opening one school in each district, right? Or more focus was given in women education in whose time? So our answer would be Wood's dispatch, right? So women education was there, higher education was led there, primary education, vernacular language, your very own native language, and English, right, was being promoted. English education was made, right, spoken with common masses, teacher training, and government aid was also given for private enterprises also. So wood dispatch again becomes one of the important topics in higher education, right? Next to it, we had Hunter Commission, which again suggested segregation of primary and higher education, right? And this was presided by Sir William Hunter, who was appointed by Lord Ripon. Right now, this was appointed and left university education on primary education. So here, primary education was the major part. Lord Herring in 1844 decided to grant employment to Indians who have received English education. So he was the person. Hunter Commission 1882-83, we have to remember. In 1902, University Commission came into picture. Again, Indian University Act was being passed in 1904, again, which we have to remember. And it was being given by Lord Curzon, right? And in 1904, National Council of Education was set up by Swadeshi nationalist leaders, and Shri Rabindranath Tagore started Shanti Niketan in Bengal. So again, Rabindranath Tagore, you may be knowing in a very generic sense, is being related to Shanti Niketan in Bengal, right? So this is again, we have seen this particular question coming in past few years also. In 1917, Sadder Commission came into picture, which we also call as Calcutta University Commission. In this, you will remember 10 plus 2 plus 3 university system, right? Central Advisory Board of Education, that we call at CABE, Central Board of Advisory Board of Education. This particular part also, Central Advisory Board of Education, has come in abbreviation form. What is the, now they would like to relate this with CBSE, right? They would put some words which are closure in it, but this came during Sadler Commission of 1917. Here, the few of the recommendation which they gave was Hatra Commission focused on quality and standard of education. Sarpo Committee, which came in 1934, talked upon unemployment as an issue. Abbott Ward report focused on English as a medium of instruction, and Vardha Education Scheme of Education focused on 1937, recommended basic education, which was recommended by Mahatma Gandhi, followed by Sargent report, which recommended setting of University Grant Commission, which we now abbreviatedly call as UGC, right? So UGC was again recommended by Sargent report. So these particular committees and report year-wise we have to remember. So here also you can see we have given in chronological order, easy to understand. The first attempt to formulate a national system of education came in 1944, which we call as Sargent report. So here, if we are seeing from 1781, Warren Hastings established the Calcutta and Madrasa, the first university, right? Then we have Jonathan Deacon, again, that is not that. Wood's Dispatch, Hunter Commission, Indian University Act, National Council of Education by Rabindranath Tagore, 1905. We have spoken about Sadler Commission, Hatra Commission, right? Then we have Sapru Committee, 1934, 1937, Abbott Ward Report, Vardha Scheme of Education, and Sargent Report. Now, after that, okay, we have this one question over here. In which year of the modern Indian university got established? In which year the modern Indian university got established?
1857, madam.
1857, okay. Anyone? Any other answer? Okay, yeah, it is the right answer. 1857 is the right answer. Next, arrange the following in chronological order of their occurrence. Just now we studied Hathros, Sadler, Maculos, Sargent, and Wood's dispatch. Do you
A, ma'am.
remember the first one or the last one? We'll try to narrow down through that.
It's a B. Yeah.
B
A,
is
ma'am.
the
A.
answer. Okay. Others? A, B, C, D. Just now we understood.
B.
B, okay. Anyone else? Any different answer other than B? Everyone is standing with D only? Which one was the last one?
Sergeant.
The Sargent plan. Okay. Now here we had just study Sargent report. And which was the first one? We are having C in common.
Macaulay minutes.
Yeah. C, Macaulay minutes was the first one, and we are very sure regarding last was Wood dispatch. Now here we can see C and E. C, E is Wood's dispatch, right? Next in line we had there. Then the main competition lies between Hathro and Sadler. So here the right answer is answer number B. So C, McLaw's minutes, then Wood dispatch, then Sadler commission, and Hatra commission, and last is Sargent plan. Okay. Which of the following led the modern education system of India? Elphinstone report, Hunter commission, McLaw's minute, or Wood dispatch? Modern education system.
C. Macaulay minute. Ma'am.
Okay. Others?
Macaulay
B,
minutes.
B, ma'am. B, ma'am.
Wood dispatch. Okay.
C. Answer.
No, B, B, ma'am.
B, C, and D. Okay. Anyone else? Any different answer? Modern education system. See, just now here we studied, where it went. See, Macaulay Minutes focused on the proposal of education for Indians. It focused on English education instead of traditional Indian learning. He told Oriental culture was defective and unholy. Now, here they focused on more on modern or Western culture in education system. So here our right answer would be Macaulay Minutes. I hope it is clear, everyone. Modern education, he will remember. Try to remember by modern and Macaulay, both for M. Modern system, here it will be Macaulay minute. Okay, next, which of the following is termed as Magna Carta of English education in India? Magna Carta of English education in India.
What's dispatch?
Wood dispatch.
Wood dispatch, okay. D. Anyone else? Any different answer?
D only, ma'am.
D.
No other.
Perfect. Right. The Wood's dispatch is the right answer. Next, as a result of vote dispatch, which of the following university was established in 1857? Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, Bombay, Madras, Delhi, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, Calcutta, Delhi.
A, ma'am. A.
A
A,
answer.
A,
Answer A.
A. Perfect. Right? We just now studied the first universities which came through vote dispatch: Calcutta, Bombay, Madras, 1857, Elphinstone College, and for Madras we had a medical college. Okay, perfect. Next up, Nalanda was established in 2nd century, 3rd century, 4th, or 5th. Nalanda University was established in second, third, fourth, fifth.
Fifth century.
5th century, okay.
3rd century.
3rd century. Any other different answer do we have? 3rd and 5th is what I'm hearing now.
Second century, ma'am.
Second, 3rd, and 5th.
Answer D, ma'am.
D, 5th century. Okay. Okay, the right answer is 5th century. That is right. Okay, now here, as I said, see, maximum question, as I have seen in few of the past year question papers, are coming from, see, wood dispatch, as I said, Nalanda, Takshashila, right? Vikramshila. So please remember, at least remember when it was established, right? And in case of Nalanda and all, when it was demolished recently, renovation was being done in 2010. The other one we saw was 2017, right? So these year we have to remember. We don't have option here of understanding. We have to remember these particular century and year when it was being done. Okay. Next up we have is evolution of education in post-independence India. Right here also we will have lot many commissions which came into picture. Before moving ahead, we will take a small break of 5 minutes. Yes. And then can we start?
Okay, ma'am.
It is too much of
Yes, madam.
information coming in. Right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Right. We'll take a small break. By max 7 o'clock sharp, we will be starting. Or please come 2 minutes early to 7 so we can start with this. We have two more topics covering a post-independence and conventional, non-conventional education system. Okay, so let's take quick 5 minutes break and be right back. Okay, everyone is back. Shall we start? Is everyone back? Please let me know a yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so hereafter we'll discuss the situation of our education system in post-independence era. So post 1947, here again we would be studying regarding, as I mentioned, some of the committees, what were the recommendation, what were the thinking ideas, how education should be promoted. So few promoted like 10 plus 2 plus 3 system, right? The medium of education, vocational training being included. So let's see one by one. The first one came from Radhakrishnan Commission, 1948 to 1949, just post independence. So here we will be talking about the various initiative which our Indian government has taken with respect to education, and then we will be coming till our new education policy of 2020 from here till there, right? So Radhakrishnan Commission was also known as the University Education Commission, and it suggested integration of secondary education and higher education by setting up of UGC, right? University Grant Commission, and this recommended the setting up of rural universities also, right? So we know Radhakrishnan, right? This commission was appointed under the chairmanship of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and the major recommendation, as we just saw, was secondary education, which remains as the weakest link in our education machinery, and that needs an urgent reforms. So this commission stated that the function of school education is to provide it good and general education, and which will not only prepare people for university work, but also at the same time be practical, and we are getting a source of living, which if they do not proceed to university also. So here the main focus which was of Radhakrishnan Commission 1948-49 was good emphasis is to be given to secondary education. So if a student does not prefer to go for higher education in university also, they are having the basic understanding and can earn their own living through the basis of education. Next was Mudliar Commission of 1952-1953. Sorry?
Slide is not visible, ma'am.
Slide is not visible. Others, can you see my slide?
Yes,
It is
ma'am.
visible.
Yes. So I request you can just log out and re-log in once, maybe because of internet, sometimes there's a lag. Just try to rejoin. I guess it will be fixed. Okay. So first, Radhakrishnan Commission, 1948-49, higher emphasis on secondary education, and it was also known as University Education Commission. Next up we have was Mudliar Commission. Now this was given, the chairmanship was given to Dr. Lakshmi Swami Mudliar in 1952, which addressed the issues related to school education. Now, this is also as popular as Secondary Education Commission, and this introduced 3-year secondary and 4-year of higher education system, and also advocated that setting of multi-purpose schools and vocational training institute. Now, all these commission and committee, which we will be studying here. So what used to happen is, say, for example, recently you would have heard a lot about NEP, right? New Education Policy 2020. Now, NEP is also not a new word. Past, maybe there are a lot many amendment being made, lot many proposal being made. Now, currently, admission cycle is near around the corner. Now people are talking about the dual degree course. At the same time, I can do 2 degree also. Then we are talking about the credit score, how we can increase that particular thing. Now, here, when we are talking about these commissions, were nothing but a group of people came together and recommended, because the government asked them to do it, and there was certain recommendation being given by each of them. So what was the emphasis of it, how much was being adopted, is what we will see through these commissions, right? So here, majorly what we have to remember, for example, exam point of context is which commission, which year, and the major recommendation. That's it, right? So here also we will try to go year wise. Name, who proposed it, and there is one person, as here it is written chairmanship. So Mudliar Commission is not one person who is recommending all this thing. There's already a committee which is there, a 10 people or 15 people committee is there, and one person is the leader who is recommending, who is giving this proposal all together clubbed up, right? So we will remember who is the chairperson of this particular committee, which year it came, and the major recommendation, what it talked upon. So first, we will always remember Radhakrishnan Committee. commission given by Mr. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, focused on secondary education. Higher emphasis was given, even if a student does not go to university level, as a decent bread and butter can be earned, right? Also known as University Education Commission. Next is Mudliar Commission, which was given in 1952-53. It focused again on setting up 3 years of secondary and 4 years of higher education system, and also focused on multi-purpose school and vocational training institutes should be set up. Next in line, we have Committee of Emotional Integration, 1961. Now, this is not that famous. Past, I have not seen much question coming from this era, but still we will remember. Chairmanship was Dr. Sampurnanand, to study the role of education programs for youth and to strengthen the process of emotional integration. Okay. That's sufficient for that. Then came is UGC into picture, University Grants Commission, 1953. So it governs universities in India and came into existence on 28th December 1953. We have to remember this particular date. Inauguration was held by Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, the Minister of Education, National Resources and Scientific Research at that time. So UGC is a statutory body set up by the government in India in accordance with the UGC Act of 1956. So UGC came into picture in 1953 and a statutory body it is. And the UGC Act came in 1956 under the Ministry of Education, and it talked upon coordination, determination, maintenance, and standard of higher education. It provides recognition to universities in India and disbursement of funds such as recognized universities and colleges. So we all are being associated with academics right now. We know the importance of UGC in our current education system. Recently, UGC have given much more power to conduct all kind of government competitive exams also, right? Is a whole soul body looking after it right now. Headquarters is at New Delhi and it has 6 regional centers in Pune, Bhopal, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Guwahati, and Bangalore, right? So we will remember the headquarters of UGC is in New Delhi, and in total we have 6 regional centers in India. The proposal was to replace it with another new regulatory body called HECI, Higher Education Commission in India, in consideration with Government of India. The UGC again provides doctoral scholarship to all those who clear JRF and National Eligibility Test, that is our UGC NET. On an average each year, this much 725 crore of money is being spent on doctoral and postdoctoral fellowship by the commission. So again, as you would have filled the form, you would have got 2 options, applying for assistant professor and JRF, right? So on the total number of people who have passed that exam in your particular stream, 6% of those qualifying, you will be getting assistant professor. Amongst them, again, the more niche 6% would be given JRF, right? Junior Research Fellowship. This particular thing is eligible for 1 year, right? 1 year. Within that, you have to enroll or get your PhD guide. So you can start with your PhD thing, right? So you can get the fellowship from the government. Next up we have is Kothari Commission, 1964 to 1966. And currently for UGC, the current chairman is Mr. Vineet Joshi, right? He was being appointed as an interim chairman from May 16, 2025. So please remember his name. Mr. Vineet Joshi is currently working as interim chairman of UGC in India. Okay. Next up, we have is Kothari Commission of 1964-1966. This talked upon formulation of national policy of education, was one of the most important recommendation of the commission in 1968. The 4th Lok Sabha elected to office 1961 under the leadership of Indira Gandhi passed the bill. Now the major recommendation is free and compulsory education. In Kothari Commission, we will remember free and compulsory education, status and pay scale revision of teachers, equalization and equal educational opportunity, and science education, right? Now, again, the commission was set up by Government of India on 14th July 1964. Here, the chairmanship is Daulat Singh Kothari. So, Kothari Commission, the full name is Dr. Daulat Singh Kothari. Then the chairman, that time he was the chairman of UGC. The commission was entitled as Education and National Development Report. The four main theme here was increase in productivity, promoting social and national integration, education modernization, developing social, moral, and spiritual values. Right? The recommendation of commission found reflections of India's first national policy in 1968. Right? So here we will remember two things. We will talk upon the free and compulsory education system, revision of the pay scale of teacher, equal opportunity was being given, right? And education and modernization, social, moral, and spiritual values were inculcated. The main theme area was four main theme areas were there. And here we will remember free and compulsory education system. And the area, the timeline is 1964 to 1966. Next, common school system must be open for all children, irrespective of any caste, creed, community, and economic or social status, and no charge of tuition fees, right? It should maintain a good standard of education and meet the needs of average parents. It also proposed the steps such as remove existing discrimination between teachers working in different environment, providing minimum condition necessary for good education, tuition fees abolished in primary level by 4th plan and lower secondary by next 5th plan. So again, it was being introduced in various phases, but exemption of school fees in first phase till 4th standard and then in secondary standard, right? So that is the main area crux of Mr. Kothari Commission. Report of the commission appropriately entitled Education and National Development, and the 4th section was general problems, stages of education, recommendation and proposal by the commission, and the supplementary papers which were being given. Again, main restructuring of the education system, 10+2+3, free and compulsory education to children between 6 to 14 years, right? By the spirit of Article 45, right to education. 3 years of degree course and 4 years of honors degree course was given. Establishment of Indian Education Service, IES, to improve the quality of Indian higher education. The commission recommended 6% of national income should be spent on education. Now, this again marks an important point, that national income, whatever it is, 6% should be spent on education. It advised the pre-primary school should have different names such as kindergarten, nursery, and basic school should be named pre-primary and primary education, which now it has been named Anganwadi, and we have other names being given for, but that time we had these two, primary and pre-primary, and kindergarten were the names being said. Commission also recommended language formula, regional language, Indian languages and literature should be used. 3-language formula, the state government should implement 3-language formula, which include study of modern Indian language, southern language apart from Hindi and English and Hindi speaking states, and it should also be Hindi along with regional language and English in non-Hindi speaking states, right? So 3-language formula, regional language, and 10+2+3, free education from 6 to 14, 3 years of degree course, 4 years of honors degree course, right? And 6% of the total national income should be given to education, right? Sanskrit, special importance was given to Sanskrit and international languages also, right? Laid on the study of English and other international language now. So they have mandated, I guess, use of foreign language. Yeah, the students have to study foreign language as such. Please remember Kothari Commission, again, we have seen there's a chain of good recommendation being given, right? Major recommendation being given and implemented that time. Similarly, removing of regional imbalance, education of girls, Divyang children, specially able children, right? They also proposed there should be at least one agricultural university in each state in technical education, practical training in industry, integral part. Kothari Commission offered due emphasis on primary as well as secondary education, right? So here, just now we saw they are focusing on 3 years of degree course and 4 years of honor degree course from that. So in Kothari Commission, we have many points that needs to be covered up. Next up we have is university education. Now, the number of the whole-time students admitted in college and university should be determined with the number of laboratories, libraries, and other facilities are given. Considerable care is being given when setup of new university and advanced study centers, which we call as Center for Excellence these days, right? Advanced studies, cluster centers, highest possible standard should be given. Similarly, part-time education should be developed on larger scale at the university level. The ultimate objective should to adopt 10+2+3 pattern, and the Government of India should also review every 5 years the progress made and recommended guidelines for the future development also. Okay, now we have on screen few of the questions we will solve before we move ahead. First, UGC has been established by an act of Indian Parliament to regulate the quality of higher education. Second, the Executive Council of Central University is empowered to decide the minimum qualification for the recruitment of the faculty. I repeat, statement 1, UGC has been established by the Act of Indian Parliament to regulate the quality of higher education. Second, the Executive Council of Central University is empowered to decide the minimum qualification for the recruitment of faculty.
I think it's C, ma'am.
C, okay.
It's
Other
A. It's A, I believe.
A, okay. A, both A and statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and we have Sir has replied both A1 and statement 2 are incorrect. I hope you're answering here also. Okay, A, we have AC, AC, C, AC. Okay, there's a confusion between A and C. I request other participants to please unmute yourself and answer. Please, quickly. A or C, what do you think? Read the second line. The University Grants Commission is a statutory body set up by Government of India. What does statutory body means? Anyone?
I think it relates to the laws somehow. It acquires some powers given by
Okay.
the law.
Nothing but the regulated by some statute.
Okay. See, whenever we are talking about the Act of Indian Parliament, कोई भी वहां से अगर पास होता है तो हम उसको statutory body बोलते हैं. Okay, so yes, UGC has been established by an Act of Indian Parliament, a statutory body. Second, the Executive Council of Central University is empowered to decide the minimum qualification for recruitment of the faculty. The answer is no. Reason being, UGC now decide UGC now controls UGC NET. They decide the minimum qualification that, again, we have that at least you need to be masters for teaching a graduate. Similarly, if you want to teach in master, you must have a PhD degree if you're teaching in a university. So this is all controlled by UGC. So the right answer is statement 1 is absolutely right, but statement 2 is incorrect. I hope you get it, everyone. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Wherever you will see this hiring guidelines also, they will say as per the UGC, right? Okay. Next in line, we have the first education commission in independent India is National Knowledge Commission, Secondary Education System, the Education System, University Education Commission.
It's a D.
University.
University.
University Education Commission.
Perfect. University, just now we just studied this.
Radha
University
Krishnan Commission.
Education System. Perfect. UGC established for promoting research and innovation in higher education in the country, coordination and determination and maintenance of standard of university, increasing the access of higher education in the country, disbursing grants for university and colleges, serving as a vital link between union and state government and institutions of higher learning. Read it, take your time, read it.
C.
Option C, okay.
C, ma'am.
C, okay. Others? I have to check here. Okay, C, 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 and C, more C. Okay, C option. Which option are you very sure of?
Is very much sure, ma'am. A.
C. The option is the one which is very sure that it grants to the university and colleges.
D, disbursing grants to universities and colleges. Just now we said, we saw that, 720 crores is being spent for doctoral and postdoctoral. Okay. D is sure. So D option we have is in C and D. Okay. Next, anything which you think is very sure of it? Coordination, determination, and maintenance of standard of university education, I guess, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Serving as a link between the union and state government and universities of higher learning, yes or no? Be it a state government university, be it a private university, any kind of institution, yes. Here, the right answer is the option number D, which is B, D, and E, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next in line we have is Indian Constitution list, central government, concurrent list, and state government. Here we can see central government has power to make laws on defense, banking, currency, and foreign affairs. Similarly, in concurrent list, we have both central and state government jointly makes the law when it comes to education, forest, trade, marriage, adoption, and succession. Now here when we are saying jointly, now here also we have seen, union and the state government and institution of higher learning. Now say for example, I'm staying in Gujarat, state government schools would mandate student learning Gujarati. Similarly, we'll go to some other regions, maybe when we're talking about southern region, they may mandate studying of that. So here it is jointly being decided by both state and the central government together makes laws regarding education. And in India, our Indian constitution list, this comes in concurrent list, right? So education subject on concurrent list in 1976. It has a federal setup and education as a concurrent responsibility of both the center as well as the state. Post-independence education, including the university education, was the responsibility of the state, while the center was given the function of only the coordination. However, in 1976, through the entry 25, that is 42nd constitutional amendment, the concurrent list of Constitution of India, the center was also given the responsibility along with the states for all levels of education, which is here depicted in this by the Venn diagram. Now, here when we talk upon we have Ganganam Committee of 1993. It recommended the flexibility of autonomy for ensuring academic excellence, asked for restricting the unchecked growth of deemed university. Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by deemed university? Deemed university?
Ma'am, I think they are private university, but deemed university cannot have affiliated colleges, I think.
Okay. Anyone else? Deemed, usually now we call us deemed to be university.
I think a university which has the potential to become a proper university, but still it is not a proper university yet.
Okay. Have you all heard upon St. Xavier's? Renowned name? Autonomous college?
Yes.
Yes. Deemed university in R.C. Monjay is an example. Now, deemed university, wherever we are using the word, it means it's an autonomous. Independently, it is deciding which curriculum to follow. Now, it is not registered under any state university as such. There's a standalone university who's deciding their very own syllabus, right? So here we have to segregate central university, state university, deemed to be university, and autonomous university. So here unchecked growth of deemed university and emphasizes the need of National Commission on Higher Education and Research to regulate the quality of education to encourage research in the university system. The main suggestion here was semester system. The first time on classroom work, field work, laboratory, workshop, reconstruction. So first in Gangnam Committee, we will remember a semester system. Second is currently which we are following is CBCS, right? Before 2020 and all, we had choice-based credit system, which provide us the opportunity for student to choose courses for prescribed comprising of core, elective, minor, major, and skill-based courses. Now, say, for example, if I'm saying that I've done my MBA in marketing, so I have core in marketing, I have certain major subjects, I may have minor subjects such as when you are quoting down general subjects, if I am reading, right, organizational behavior or that, or if we are having any skill-based courses, currently we call it as employability, right? Now we have value-added subjects also. So Ganganam Committee focused on semester system, CBCS, choice-based credit system, and curriculum development, revision and updation of curriculum and curriculum transaction, and also the admission procedure and examination reforms came into picture in Ganganam Committee, right? We will remember the year 1993 for this. Next up we have is Sam Petora Committee. He is Mr. Sam Petora, which you can see on the right-hand side. It was established in the year 2005, and it is also properly known as National Knowledge Commission, that is NKC. This focused on restructuring of curricula to meet the demand of multidisciplinary professionals. What do you mean by multidisciplinary? Anyone? Sorry. Multidisciplinary, we use different subjects. Okay, perfect.
Teach different subjects.
Teach different subjects, multidisciplinary. Okay. Now, when I'm taking a basic example of management, I come from management, faculty of management. Management is again a combination of commerce, arts, little bit of science, because here we have some reasoning also, right? Economics comes into picture. Now, management is just not one area of discipline. It is a multidisciplinary approach. Similarly, when we are talking about science, when we're talking about engineering, when we are talking about architecture we have having combination of engineering, we have design and creativity and everything. So this is multidisciplinary professionals and criteria based resource allocation to ensure maintenance of standard. They supported entry of foreign universities and also favored reduction of burden of affiliation of college on university. NKC recommended increasing the number of universities to 1500 by 2015. So more of education, quality education should be promoted. Multidisciplinary professional approach, criteria-based resource allocation were the main takeaways which you will take from here, and entry of foreign universities was being proposed. Next, very important is Yashpal Committee. Now, Yashpal Committee suggested scraping of all higher education, the regulatory and monetary bodies of super regulator, that is a 7-member commission for higher education and research here, right? It recommended that the deemed university status be abandoned and that all deserving deemed universities of either converted into full-fledged university or altogether scrapped. The committee stressed the need of more attention to undergraduate programs and multidisciplinary approach of learning. Yashpal Committee also strongly recommended reducing the burden of affiliation of colleges and universities. The recommendation of Yashpal Committee and NKC, this one, Sam Pitora Committee, animated for realization of fragmentation of various fields of knowledge in higher education for interdisciplinary learning. From here, we will talking about multidisciplinary, and here we are focusing on interdisciplinary learning as well as deemed university status he proposed should be abandoned. Either it should be converted to a full-fledged university or altogether scrapped. Next up we have is Sharma Committee. Again, chairmanship is of Professor M.M. Sharma, who deliberated the development of science and technology. So in this, in Sharma Committee, you will remember the committee suggested the establishment of Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, IISER, and providing a recommendation of 500 crores to be spent on research on basic science every year by UGC. So here more of emphasis is given on technical education, right? Technical education and research, M.M. Sharma, that you will remember. Then we have is KB Pawar Committee of 2011. Constituted by UGC. Again, it recommended 4 models of public-private partnership. Now, again, this you would have heard, right? Government project, and there may be a private company who is taking care of it. Best example you take is a passport office. It is in with collaboration with Tata Group, right? So similarly, here also with respect to the 4 models of public-private partnership in higher education came into picture. There are various colleges, when you're talking about, say, for example, learning retail, or when we're talking about learning the basic technicality part, there was this institute, I would not like to name, but they came in collaboration with Maruti Suzuki when they were talking about the engineering perspective, right? So again, that they had made the factory outlet within the campus of the university, and the students were being provided internship there, right? Hands-on training was being given. So such thing was being promoted by KB Pawar Committee. Next in line we have is Dr. Anil Kakodar Committee of 2012. This recommended 2% budget every year should be earmarked by research, right, again suggested the establishment of Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. Altogether, M.M. Sharma, we will remember for Science, Education and Research. Similarly, Dr. Anil Kakodar, Committee of 2012, right? Majority what we will remember here is Radhakrishnan Committee, integrating secondary and higher education. Mudliar Commission, introduction of 3 years of secondary and 4 years of higher education. Kothari Commission focused on 3 years of degree and 4 years of honors degree program. And Sam Petora constructing the curriculum of multidisciplinary approach and integrating both secondary and higher education, right? Similarly, here we can see University Education Commission, that is Radhakrishnan Commission 1948. Just after the independence, the first is Radhakrishnan Commission. Then we have Secondary Education Commission, which we know as Mudliar Commission. Committee on Emotional Integration, Kothari Commission, which we also call as Education Commission. National Policy on Education and Gangnam Committee, lot of recommendation have come from that also. Sam Petora, National Knowledge Commission, NKC, Yashpal Committee, Sharma Committee, Anil Kodiyar, Narayana Murthy Committee, and Subramanian Committee. NEP draft came into picture, and NEP Kashtarangan, we'll see into that, right? So Dr. Krishna Swami Kashtarangan drafted a policy. The new education policy talks upon host of challenge, including 5+3+3 structure, flexible examination. Now, I guess they have also proposed that even these board exams should be occurring twice. So the student who have got their 80 KT, who have failed during that, should get at least twice chance in a year course of period of time to complete their degree, right? Again, focusing on vocational training also at younger levels. Okay, now we have few questions here on the screen. In post-independence India, which of the following commission reports deals with all levels of education in India? Sargent Committee, Hathron Committee, Kothari, or Radhakrishnan? I repeat, in post-independence India, which committee deals with all levels of education?
Kothari Commission.
Kothari, okay. Kothari Commission, answer number C has come. Any other option? Kothari, everyone agrees with Kothari Commission?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
C. Are you all replying? Okay, C. Perfect. C is the right answer. Kothari Commission. Now, when we're talking about National Policy of Education, NEP, right? Education Commission 1964, 1966, National Policy of Education 1968, New Education Policy 1986, National Policy of Education 1992, and we have NEP 2020. Let's quickly see NP 1968. Based on the recommendation of Kothari Commission 1964-1966, that time Prime Minister Indira Gandhi announced the first National Policy of Education 1968, called for radical restructuring and proposed equal educational opportunity. It focused on compulsory education for all children up to age of 14, stipulated by the Constitution of India, and the 3-language formula, the construction of English, official language of the state, where the state was based, as I said, it's Gujarat. So you have to learn Gujarati and Hindi, right? The native, our mother tongue. 3-language formula. So English, Hindi, and your native language and your local language. Language education was seen as an essential part, right? Although the decision to adopt Hindi was national language, and it also encouraged teaching of ancient language such as Sanskrit. We all have studied Sanskrit during our school days, right? I guess up to 8 standards, 6 to 8, we all have studied Sanskrit as an optional language. The NEP of 1968 was called for education spending to increase 6% of the national income, as we just saw. As of 2013, the NPE 1968 was moved allocation to national website. 1986, the government led by Rajiv Gandhi introduced the new policy of education. So here we will remember Indira Gandhi, Kothari Commission, and here we will remember Rajiv Gandhi. The new policy called for special emphasis on renewable or disparities, especially for Indian women, ST and SC communities. Child-centric approach, Operation Blackboard to improve primary school nationwide. This policy also expanded for open university system. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by open university? Open university?
Distance education.
Okay, distance education. Okay. Any other thing which comes in your mind when we say open university?
IGNO, ma'am.
IGNO. Best example is IGNO. I guess it's also A plus aggregated in NAC. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Distance learning, especially if you are teaching, please, if you get access to IGNO study material, believe me, they have one of the updated. There's recently a colleague of mine, she is doing one of her degree from there, additional degree. They have one of the latest curriculum, right? Maybe you and me are facing issue in BOS, getting us syllabus getting updated. But Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNO, get through the various reading material of them. It is really good. We can use as a reference for teaching. Okay, so IGNO came into picture in 1985. When we're talking about NPE 1992, so 1986, National Policy on Education was modified by PV Narasimha Rao, right? And this former Prime Minister that time, Manmohan Singh, adopted a new policy based on common minimum program, right? And professional and technical program, that is JEE and AIEEE came into picture. Then we have is NEP 2020. You all would be well versed with it. 2019, the Ministry of HRD released a draft new policy of 2019, number of public consultations, and it also talks about revision of curriculum and analysis-based learning. It talks upon pedagogical structure from 10+2 system to 5+3+3+4 system in an effort for optimistic learning. On 29th July 2020, the Cabinet approved a new education policy with the aim to introduce several changes in existing Indian education system. So few of the images which I have shown here is 100% GR in school education by 2030, 50% of 2035, total 3.5 crore seats to be added in higher education. It will bring 2 crores out of the school children back into the mainstream. As I said, 5+3+3 schooling system. And they also talked upon this Anganwadi, preschooling, which we call as now primary and this kindergarten, right? No rigid separation between academic, extracurricular and vocational. Vocational education to start from class 6 with internship, teaching up to at least grade 5 to be in mother tongue or regional language, right? So main focus was inclusivity, all stream and any caste and creed, that should not be open and distance learning education came into picture, skill development. So again, we should make sure that the education system which we are providing is skill based, right? It is not just making us as bookworms, right? Skill based, people are learning various qualities, right? And it is helping them to earn money. Medium of language and holistic assessment overall, multiple entry and exit point. Now we have even this ABD indexing format, right? Multidisciplinary approach was being given. If a student is study 2 years in chemistry, can come up, study 2 years in management. That is also an option being given. And the establishment of NRF was being given. Okay. A few of the thing here is CBSE. Please remember these full forms. CBSE, NCRT, Central Tibetan School Administration, Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathana, KVS, right? Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS, right? These abbreviation can also be asked. So in a nutshell, if I say National Policy of Education recommended by Kothari Commission, 6% of national income should be spent on education, 3 language formula, English, Hindi, and your state language, compulsory education till 14 years. 1986 NPA talks upon removal of inequality on caste, creed, gender. Open blackboard for primary education, and 6% of GDP to be spent on education. 1992 focused on common mission minimum program. JEE, AIEEE came into picture, and now we have 5 in our new education policy of 2020, 5+3+3+4, vocational training, multidisciplinary approach, holistic approach came into picture. The last topic which we'll quickly cover up is conventional and non-conventional learning. Now, this is a very general topic when we talk upon. See, conventional learning is the basic education learning when we are talking about the brick and mortar model, what you and me do in our classrooms, right? Either it is, say, for example, during COVID when we went online, or when we are talking about the brick mortar. Brick is the basic classroom, right? The 4 physical walls between them when we are teaching. So this is the customary education format when we have central university, state university, deemed to be university, autonomous colleges. And then is non-conventional learning. Now, the various kinds of education system wherein we are having night classes, online classes. Now, you talk upon these Khan Academy, those institute, you talk about Coursera, right? Wherein I'm having online classes, access to that lifelong learning, independent study. That is non-conventional form of learning offered other than common daytime college classroom. We call it non-conventional. Right. So in conventional, we are teacher learner centric approach. And here we have more of learner centered approach. Let's quickly see the basic idea of bifurcation. Conventional learning is basically passive learning. What do you mean by passive learning? Anyone? In a generic sense, passive learning. Sorry, ma'am, can you repeat it? The voice broke in middle. Passive learning.
One-way conversation.
One-way conversation. I have come to class. I am only talking to myself. I'm teaching something and we are going. So it is passive learning. Child listens to teacher and follows direction from the teacher who sets the pace of instruction. Non-conventional learning is choosing their own work with own pace, doing there. Now, again, when you talk about these night colleges, student has worked all together, full day and night they're going for classes. Online classes give me an edge. Now you have recorded session. Many of you would be occupied, maybe driving, right? So we are having this non-conventional teaching. It is available on online platform whenever it is convenient for you, whenever you are free, right? Maybe at night or whenever it's convenient for you, you can study. So this is non-conventional teaching. In conventional, student provide with knowledge, skill and experience. Here, general development of student and mastering the learning model. Core competency are example, facts, arguments, text, dedicated time to propose the master defined skills and develop socially. Now, whenever, again, it's not just the student is coming to college to learn things, but when we are focusing on curriculum, extracurricular activities, we are focusing on holistic development. We are talking about how the student, when we are asking them, promoting them to be active in sports group, also be active during other vocational trainings, also go for internship. We are making sure the holistic development is being done. The student is socially not very awkward. He knows how to talk, when to talk. He knows how to present himself, right? So that is conventional teaching. Holistic development includes generalization of law, cognitive. Here we are talking about the thinking, the social and psychological development of the mind. Now, again, non-conventional, say, for example, I want to learn a new language. It's Python, it's R. I don't have to go to maybe a classroom setting to learn it. Whenever it is convenient for me, say, for example, weekend, I can learn regarding AI and management, say, for example. So I may opt for non-conventional teaching also. Conventional teaching, there is a constant peer contact. Now, when students are coming to colleges, they have this peer contact. Say, for example, they have their friends. There's a common competition which is going on, how much the other person scored. And the conventional, we have the competitiveness, they have their friends group is there, right? Constant peer contact is there. But again, non-conventional teaching, here on this platform, we have more than 60 participants who have been there at common platform. But again, we are having bare minimum contact with each other. Group, individual, whole class. Here we may have teamwork and collective way of training. Now again, we can divide in groups, do the case study. Here I can give you different, maybe, group projects can be given. I'm giving you question papers to solve. So that time we can have teamwork or collective way of thinking. But again, we all are working from a remote location. Conventional teaching, verbal, visual, practical, limited to contact time. Problem statement, partial search, brainstorming method. Now again, one person may be at their office and now taking the class, another person may be out for dinner and maybe listening half the time to the class. We have different. Now again, we have different problem statement. I'm giving you a week's time so we can come brainstorm our ideas, different ideas which is coming in our mind, right? Conventional teaching, we have control assessment by teacher, self-control and self-assessment. Here we have cooperation, collaboration, subject related. As I said, non-conventional, usually we opt for any kind of additional knowledge, any kind of skill base, which language we need to learn, any kind of additional knowledge we need to learn, then we opt for non-conventional teaching. Self-control, self-assessment, right? Okay. Next question we have, I hope you are able to get conventional, non-conventional, the basic schooling which we have, right? That is conventional. Anything out of the way, we are trying to meet at a remote location when we are talking about online classes, right? That will come in non-conventional teaching. Okay, we have few questions we'll solve before winding this session. Which of the following forms a necessary component of conventional education system in India? Learning from book, learning from teacher, learning from thinking, learning from instructional method. Which of the following forms are necessary component of conventional education system?
Maybe learning from teacher.
Learning from teacher, okay. Anyone else has a different answer? Learning from books, learning from teacher. You remember this? Learner-centered approach, conventional teaching, non-conventional teaching, we have more of learner-centered. So here the right answer is learning from teacher. Very good. Next we have is, which of the following entries of the Indian Constitution deals with the coordination and determination of standard institutions for higher education, for research or scientific and technical institution? Entry 63, 64, 65 and 66. Indian Constitution deals with coordination and determination of standards in institution for higher education. We had just now discussed. Try to recall. Before that Venn diagram. What will be the right answer? Indian Constitution.
Entry 63, madam.
Entry 63, okay.
Option B.
Entry 66, okay. Anyone else with any different answer? Please write it down. The right answer is entry 66. Indian Constitution deals with coordination and determination of standards in institutions for higher education. Okay. Next up, we have, in context of higher education, Honorable Supreme Court directed which of the following national body or organization to frame and prescribe a course in environment education. I repeat, in context with higher education, Honorable Supreme Court directed which of the following national body or organization to frame and prescribe a course in environment education? UGC, NCTE, NCRT, AICTE.
Option 3, madam, NCRT.
NCRT, okay. Others? Higher education.
UGC, madam, higher education.
UGC?
UGC, ma'am.
UGC.
UGC, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
UGC.
UGC.
Perfect. UGC is the right answer. So UGC has mandated, every college currently, which you will see to the curriculum also, which you would be following. So they have prescribed a 6 model course for environment studies. Any kind of undergraduate degree program, they have to make sure that environmental studies, environmental education is being given. UGC is the right answer. Okay. UGC has established for promoting research. Okay, we have just done. We'll skip this. The National Sports University, a central government university, is in which of the state? Haryana, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Punjab. National Sports University. Haryana, okay. Others? Haryana. Anyone else? Any different answer other than Haryana?
Manipur.
Manipur,
Punjab, madam.
Haryana, Punjab, Manipur. We have 3 options. What are others saying here in chat box? I'll check quickly. Manipur. Okay. 4th, Punjab. The right answer is Manipur. It was inaugurated on March 16, 2018 as a central university by our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. Okay, so Manipur is the right answer. First national sports university. Please remember this, even the year 2018, because it is a recent figure. And it is first national sports university, right? Okay. The expenditure on research and innovation in India at present is only -% of GDP. It was being proposed 6%, but currently the status
2.14.
2.14. Okay. Others?
4.69.
Which option, sir?
Option 2.
Option 2, 0.69. Okay. The right answer is option 2, 0.69%. So this is a figure of 2021. Just check the revised one also, 2025, if it has changed anything. Developed nations like UK, Sweden, and Switzerland are spending across 2.9, 3.2, 3.4% respectively on R&D, right? So currently 2021 ka ye data hai. We'll just see revised version what it is. Let's take one more question before we wind it up. Which among the following is not the responsibility of UGC? To regulate quality of higher education, maintain discipline in campuses of institution, fund research projects of faculty, suggest model curriculum to universities.
2.
Not
Option 2.
responsibility. Option 2, okay.
Second.
Second, Perfect. To maintain discipline in campus is not the responsibility of UGC. Perfect. Next question, one more. In India, much of the central government expenditure on higher education is routed through National Council of Teacher Education, All India Council of Technical Education, UGC, NCERT.
Third one, UGC, ma'am.
UGC. Perfect. The answer is UGC. Okay, by this, we will wind up today's session. We will meet on Monday, 6 o'clock, everyone. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
ma'am, will we get the PDF of the same?
I'll try to provide the study material, ma'am, and you'll already get the recording of the same thing, so it won't be an issue. Okay? So you can already see that. Thank you, everyone. Good night.